We got a loaded show today on Chicago Bears. Now, a lot of headlines going around the Chicago Bears quarterback Justin Fields and some trade rumors being thrown out there. He did an interview with Pardon My Take, so a lot to digest. Before we do that, pick a side. If Justin Fields is your quarterback, then like this video. And if he's not, then tell me why he's not in the comments, because I just don't understand it at this point. Hit that thumbs up icon. I want to get 2,000 or more likes on today's show if Justin Fields is QB1. Today's episode of Chicago Bears Now is presented by Manscaped. Stay groomed with the best men's grooming products at manscaped.com. Use promo code BEARS20 to get 20% off plus free shipping. It is manscaped.com, promo code BEARS20. All right, let's talk about Justin Fields. I first want to talk about his interview with Pardon My Take, and then we'll get to some comments from Colin Cowherd and another NFL reporter later on in the show. Fields hopped on PMT, and we'll talk about some of the other things he mentioned in the interview, but he specifically mentioned Jackson Smith-Njigba as a player he would like to see the Bears draft this year. Here's what he had to say. He said, "I'm going with my man Jackson Smith-Njigba. I've seen him in action. I've seen how he can separate like that. His body control is crazy. He didn't get to play this last year, didn't get to show what he can do, but I'm hoping he falls to us somehow. One guy that I would love to have is Jackson Smith-Njigba." Now, he is right about 2022. Smith-Njigba only played in a couple games and was basically hurt the whole season with a lingering hamstring issue, but this time last year after 2021, we were saying he might be the best receiver in the draft last year because he had this season 95 catches, 1,600 yards, and 9 touchdowns. And listen, in a trade down scenario to land Jackson Smith-Njigba, that would be fire. I would love to see that happen. He and Fields overlapped for 1 year at Ohio State. Now, that was JSN's freshman season. He didn't get to play a ton, but Fields is familiar with him, obviously watches Ohio State closely still, and obviously spent a lot of practice time with Smith-Njigba as well. This time last year, I was very high on JSN. Doesn't mean I'm not now. It's just after a year of not playing and injuries, obviously it's going to impact your draft stock a bit. Obviously, they're not taking a receiver number 1 overall, but if they trade down, pick up an extra first in the later part of round 1, maybe that could be a scenario where they land Jackson Smith-Njigba. Now, do you want JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba, in Chicago? Type Y for yes, type N for no. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video, so if you get hit with the YouTube ad break, just type a Y or an N when it comes to JSN. Now, you look at this NFL draft, and I think these are probably my top 10 receiver prospects, not necessarily in a specific order, although I think the guys on the left side of the screen have separated themselves a little bit. Quentin Johnston, Jordan Addison, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Jalen Hyatt, and Zay Flowers. I'm a big Josh Downs guy as well. I think after him it does dip a little bit. Cedric Tillman, I think, will go mid-late second round. Keyshawn Boutte, I'm not sure where he'll go. He's very talented, but some red flags there. A.T. Perry's a player to watch. He's 6'5", has good speed as well. Curious to see how he tests at the combine. Rashee Rice as well. Didn't have a great Senior Bowl, but has some pretty good tape at SMU. Now, Smith-Njigba, speaking of the combine, how much will he do in Indianapolis in a couple of weeks? Will he work out at all? I mean, he had a lingering injury all season. I would like to see him run the 40-yard dash. I would like to see him do some of the cone drills, but we'll see. I mean, he might opt to wait until Ohio State's pro day. If he doesn't think he's going to run a sub 4.5, which he may not, he's not a straight burner, he may choose to not run the 40-yard dash. But I'd like to see it. I'd like to see how he tests and see where he's at kind of with his body at this point after not playing at all pretty much in 2022. Now, obviously, at receiver, it's a polarizing topic. I mean, you need more help there. I think JSN has wide receiver 1 potential. Now, I think he's primarily going to play out of the slot in the NFL, but you see more and more teams put their best receivers in the slot. I mean, for the Bears, they've put Darnell Mooney in the slot because he's their best receiver. But you look at teams across the league, Cooper Kupp plays a lot out of the slot. Justin Jefferson plays a lot out of the slot. The Bengals kind of work Chase and T. Higgins in the slot a decent amount. They also have Tyler Boyd, who's a great slot. So that doesn't necessarily turn me off the idea of Smith-Njigba because him and Mooney can move around a little bit. So we'll see what happens. I'm definitely open to the idea of getting JSN. I'd love to trade down with the Colts to number 4, pick up their number 35 pick, and then he falls to 35. Not sure he'll fall out of round 1. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Breaking news here from Manscaped, as we've told you guys the last couple of weeks that they did drop a new product. It is called the Beard Hedger. And guys, I have never been happier with my beard grooming game because the Beard Hedger Pro Kit from Manscaped, it's the full complete set of beard items that you need to keep your beard nice and groomed. You get the Beard Hedger kit itself. You get oil, shampoo, conditioner, scissors, a comb, tons of other stuff as well. It also comes in a travel kit. And I think the best part about the Beard Hedger is goodbye to multiple guards. 20 links on one single attachment. You don't have to get an extra bag to throw all these extra, clip-ons to determine how much you want to trim down your beard. It's on a rotator, so you don't have to worry about that. Stay groomed today. Beard like a pro with Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use promo code Bears20. Comes in this nice box. Everything you need is right here. You're good to go. You don't need all this extra stuff, and you get all these products with it as well. Manscaped.com, promo code Bears20. Stay nice and groomed today. I'm so glad Manscaped got involved with the beard game because I've loved all their other men's grooming products for years, but now they got the best beard accessory kit on the planet. Manscaped.com, promo code Bears20. Other takeaways from Fields' interview with Pardon My Take that I found interesting. He wants to play in a dome. He said he hopes they either build a dome on Soldier Field or if the Arlington Heights thing happens, that'll be a dome, which it will. If they go to Arlington Heights, I can guarantee you that. He's excited for a full offseason in the same offense because obviously last year had to learn a complete new system, but now he can build upon what he did this year. And with Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator, an interesting one is he plans on reaching out to Aaron Rodgers. Getsy gave Fields Rodgers' number, and look, if it's purely from a football standpoint, I really don't have a problem with it. I'm not a Rodgers guy, but he knows this offense, and he's a damn good quarterback. So, just tread lightly, Justin. Let's not start taking ayahuasca. We'll be just fine. He does still speak with Andy Dalton. I found that interesting. Dalton, he's kind of referred to him as a mentor, and said, he still reached out during this season as well. So I thought that was cool and interesting as well. Looking back at the draft, he thought Carolina or Denver would draft him. Mentioned Atlanta as a possibility as well. And once he fell beyond Carolina, I believe it was, at 8, or Denver, I'm not sure which, he said he had no idea where he was going to go. And then obviously the Bears traded up. So he did also mention, too, he knew going into the draft he wasn't going top 3 because he knew Lawrence was going 1, he knew Wilson was going 2, and then his agent told him that the Niners had zeroed in on Trey Lance. So kind of a look back down memory lane. Before we get to some other Justin Fields stuff, interesting idea from Colin Cowherd. Subscribe to the channel. We publish daily videos here on Bears Now. You will not regret it. Hit that sub button. You won't. Will you? It's up to you guys. Hit that sub button if you want daily Chicago Bears content. All right, let's get to kind of the frustrating part of today's Justin Fields episode, and that's Colin Cowherd saying, hey, time to trade Fields if you are Chicago. He's in the camp that they should trade him, especially if they can get a top 10 pick and then go draft Bryce Young number 1. Here's what Cowherd had to say. He said, you really have to think about this and put your pom-poms down in Chicago, and that's moving off Justin Fields. Here's why. In 2 years, he's been bad and bad. In 2 years, he completes 59%, has a passer rating under 80, has 24 touchdowns and 21 picks. It's bad. Cowherd added this as well, some other reasons. He said if Fields is average or bad in 2023, he doesn't have trade value. That's actually probably true, especially if he's bad. Now, if he's average, you could probably still get a middle-round pick, but I do get that sentiment, like especially if the Bears invest in him heavily this offseason with pieces around him and he doesn't take another step. Yeah, I get that. I get that standpoint. New regime didn't draft him. Also true. So if they wanted to move off him, they could certainly do that. He mentioned the Bears likely won't have the number 1 pick soon. Well, if they don't, that's probably because Fields improved a lot. And then I don't know what this last point is. Couldn't win with Roquan and Max. It's like, I don't know what defense has to do with moving Justin Fields. But he made some okay points. But the whole thing of, he also mentioned Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen made huge strides in their first 2 years. Well, let's just compare their first 2 years. Now, I didn't put yards on here because they all played a different amount of games through 2 seasons. But let's just compare, and this is strictly passing, by the way. If you want to throw rushing in there, Justin Fields ran for almost 1,200 yards this year. Completion percentage through first 2 seasons in the NFL. Josh Allen, 56.3. Jalen Hurts, 59. Fields, 59.7. TD to interception. Allen, 30-21. Hurts, 22-13. Fields, 24-21. Slightly worse ratio there. He's throwing in more picks than Hurts and less TDs than Allen. So, okay, fair enough. QB rating, all 3 pretty similar. Hurts actually the highest, and I don't think anyone would take him as a passer over Josh Allen. The point is the sample size is too small, and guess what happened in year 3 for Josh Allen? Guess what happened in year 3 for Jalen Hurts? You know what happened? The Bills traded for Stephon Diggs. Josh Allen took off. Jalen Hurts got A.J. Brown. He took off, had an MVP caliber season. So my point in all of this is saying, number one, it's too early. Number one, Fields didn't prove this year. To say he didn't, you just not paying attention. And number two, it's way too early to determine whether or not Fields can take that big leap and become a top 10 quarterback like Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts did. Because the pieces aren't around him yet. If you go get him a bona fide number one and the O-line improves a little bit and it's more of the same, the passing doesn't take that next step, then okay, that's fine. But I think we have to give this a little bit more time, just like Buffalo did, just like Philadelphia did. Joe Burrow was pretty good right away, but he also had Jamar Chase right away, T. Higgins right away. I get his O-line wasn't very good, but look, here's the bottom line. Obviously, the passing game as a whole for Chicago, and Fields is a part of that. He's got to improve. That has to improve. Let's get him some help, and let's see what happens in year 3. Again, if there's not another big step next year, I thought there was a pretty good step this year. If there's not another big one next year, like we saw with Allen and Hurts in year 3, okay, we're having a different conversation. But I think it's premature to just be like, well, he sucked through 2 years. Well, he didn't completely suck through 2 years. We've seen flashes of really good play, and he definitely improved this year. The numbers suggest that. So I disagree with Cowherd's sentiment on that front, and I think there's way too much potential in what we've seen so far to just punt on Justin Fields after 2 seasons. Now, show Justin Fields some love if you're in the camp of wanting to keep him for at least another year. Type JF1 down below if he is your quarterback, and show QB1 some support. All right, a little throw in here on the back end of the show. Our good pal, Jason Canfora. He's got a great track record. He says more than one NFL general manager came away from the Senior Bowl fairly convinced that Justin Fields will be dealt. Well, Canfora's track record stinks. That's number one. I don't even know which outlet he's with anymore. I know he's not with CBS. Listen, I'll eat crow if Justin Fields gets traded. I will. I will come on this show and said I was wrong. I did not see this coming. I am surprised, and I was incorrect. I don't have sources telling me they're for sure going to keep him, but I am just very confident that they will keep him for at least another year. If they trade him, hey, they trade him. Like I said, I will be the first to admit that I was incorrect on that. But I just don't think it's going to happen, and JLC tweeting something out doesn't convince me it's going to happen. Until Rappaport or Schefter or one of the Chicago local guys says the Bears are actively shopping Justin Fields, I think he's their quarterback. And if it hasn't happened up to this point, then I don't think it's going to. Obviously, rumors are going to continue to circulate, but we have yet to see a report, a legitimate one, from a big honcho saying that they are shopping their quarterback. So that's where I'm at. I'm a Justin Fields guy. You guys know that. That's why I'm rocking the kind of mini hoodie right now, supporting QB1 here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and making it to the end of the video. If you did, hit that sub button, turn on notifications. We will continue to bring you the latest and greatest Chicago Bears news and rumors, and we will see you next time here on the channel.